And welcome everybody to another episode of the Pulse of Fins Nation. I'm your host, Louis Sung, and I am joined by my co-host, Ron Caniff, and Alfredo Artiaga is also joining us for today. Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm great.
I'm doing perfect.
So I can see one of you, and one of you is getting a real good background. I don't know if it rivals Alf's yet, but you're getting there. You're getting.
Oh yeah, I got a long way to go, but I'll get there.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm putting some stuff up there.
I see that. Yeah.
So there's something up there now. It's not
I got
just
little dolphin something up there.
Yeah, it's like I got the little helmet up here, and then a remote
control.
Yeah, but
we can't
holder.
see it. We can't see it because you have it's at an angle. Like the shelf is actually covering the stuff.
Yeah, we got to get you fixed up, man. Got to get your studio ready for the season.
So you either have to elevate your camera or bring that shelf down.
Is that better?
You can't tell what that is. I don't know if that's a helmet or I don't know what that is.
It's actually like a little mini piggy bank kind of thing.
It's yeah, that's okay. You'll get a setup. You'll get it figured out. You need to get a desk.
Yeah, because you're using your laptop, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what you could do is you have a box somewhere. You can see how. In fact, we're gonna do this right on the air. We're gonna fix your set. You ready? Okay. Right. Do you have a box anywhere? A box.
Okay. This is really the nuclear approach.
Let me see the box.
I'm going to recruit my fiance in real time. Can you come over here, please, and just hold this laptop up?
We did not plan this, folks.
All you need is like a box. That's
okay. It. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, but you have a box.
This is the box. The laptop is on the box now.
Okay, put the laptop on the box.
Laptop is on the box.
Is the box on your bed that you're sitting on?
Yes, it is.
This is a terrible setup, Louis.
Okay, move it back. Okay, you got to move the box to your right. Move the box to your right. There you go. Center, bang. Stop it. Okay. Now you can actually see. Now you're crooked, but you can actually see the background. You see it?
Yep, I can see it.
It actually works. You see? You have to elevate the laptop.
Yeah.
See? So if you elevate the laptop, you'll be fine. Now what you got to do is you got to put something behind you, come directly behind you, maybe like a bookshelf or something. And then what you do is you copy the ESPN people. You just put a bunch of bullshit on there, and then put a couple of helmets, and then that's it. End of story.
Most people on the news will always have their home library behind them. Look at all the books I didn't read, but I want you to think I did.
Yeah, I got one of those setups here too, but I've never used it.
Alrighty, so I do have a banner that I'm eventually going to put up. I just need to grab either.
I like how Ron has monitors behind him, but he has none of them on.
Those are not monitors.
No, those aren't monitors. That's that's sound diffusing foam.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. When I have better lighting back there. Actually, I need to turn on my lighting. That'll probably help. I'll do that in a second. When you run the ads, I'll do that.
You should have seen the last show.
A pretty cool background also is just putting a TV. Like if you could put a TV behind you, and then just put something random on there. Like put random dolphin highlights. And then
that's not a bad idea.
Something from the 70s, so we don't get demonetized by the NFL.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just take something from YouTube. I learned that trick.
Oh, okay.
If
it can be on YouTube, it can be on YouTube. There you go.
If it can be on YouTube, you can put it anywhere.
Yep. There you go.
And since OnlyFans is like a private Discord, I can put whatever the hell I want on there. I can show movies on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
As long as nobody rats me out. If somebody rats me out, I just deny it.
Well, you just ratted yourself out on
just ratted yourself out live for the entire world.
The FBI. Call the FBI on me.
FBI's busier with other things.
All righty. So we're going to go ahead and get some Miami Dolphins talk up in here. We're going to be talking about the AFC East, our division rivals, such as they are, and some of the drama that they're going through. And I guess we'll briefly touch upon the minor drama that literally came up 20 minutes ago. So not really much to talk about, but we'll mention it because this is a Dolphins show, so we kind of have to. So before we get too far into it, though, just want to go ahead and mention that, as always, this show is brought to you by our good friends over there there at U-Brake Wheel Fix. U-Brake Wheel Fix is a complete automotive wheel solution. Ever parked too close to the sidewalk curb? U-Brake Wheel Fix specializes in the repair of damaged wheels from bends, cracks, and curb rash. Or maybe your wheels are faded or peeling. You don't need to replace them, as U-Brake Wheel Fix can refinish them to like new. Offering complete refinish options through powder coating, machining, and polishing, U-Brake Wheel Fix is the answer to all of your wheel needs. And if you're just looking to give your ride a new look, U-Brake Wheel Fix also offers many car customizing options, such as new custom wheels and tires from your favorite brands, performance upgrades, window tinting, and suspension modifications. Located just south of Aventura, you can reach Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at ubrakewheelfix.com. They are really active on all social media platforms at U-Brake Wheel Fix, so shoot them a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter and get an estimate in just minutes. So don't delay, go to U-Brake Wheel Fix and start customizing your ride to show off your Dolphins fandom today. And this show is also brought to you by our friends over at prizepicks.com. Prizepicks.com is a revolutionary fantasy platform where you can now pick up to 6 different players across professional sports leagues. Whether that's the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, one of each, it's up to you to decide. Just choose whether your chosen player will get more or less than their projected stat. They give you free squares over there. Today is special Taco Tuesday promo, so if you haven't taken advantage of those, make sure you're keeping an eye out for those. They even have Flex Friday specials where you can get your money back if you lose or multiply the amount of money you can normally win. With offers like that, it's hard to justify not signing up if you're any kind of a fantasy sports fan. So use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up. Again, that's promo code 5, FIVE. Go to prizepicks.com, deposit your $100, and let PrizePicks give you $100 of their dollars for you to play with before you even have to touch your initial deposit. Get started winning today and go to prizepicks.com right now. All right, so the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and the is your stuff falling down again, Ron? Like, you're muted. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Sorry. Yeah, it's falling down again. It's the off season. Everything's still in refurbishment.
We're rebuilding. We're rebuilding.
Yeah, we're rebuilding, trying to make the show better.
All right. So we have to talk about this very briefly, simply because it is a thing. We're going to be talking about like things going on with the Buffalo Bills and the stuff they're going through and how that's going to affect them. So technically speaking, something along the same vein, apparently per Channel 10 News, Tyreek Hill is under investigation by the Miami-Dade Police Department, and Local 10 News has learned that the wide receiver allegedly hit a man working at Haulover Marina. So now, just to add some context to this whole thing, I believe that the reason that he is under investigation is because he smacked the dude in the back of the head because he got handsy with him first. And the reason he was getting handsy in the first place is because he was trying to board a boat without paying. And I believe, I'm not mistaken, that boat had his agent on it. Is it his agent's boat or something?
No, it was a charter boat, and Drew Rosenhaus was on the boat with him. As far as what we know, is that some people on his entourage tried to board the boat without paying.
So it wasn't even Tyreek; it was just some of his buddies trying to break the rules.
And I know who they probably were. It was probably those people that follow him to record everything and do stuff for his podcast. So they thought that they were being, they were going to be on because they don't know any better. And a deckhand probably got handsy and he got set straight, and that's fine by me. You know what I mean? You know how you know that this is a nothing story? He boarded the boat and they came back to shore.
And he went fishing. He took pictures of himself with a big ass tuna. So, or something. I'm not a fish expert. I think it was a tuna. It looked like.
Was it a tuna? Let me see. Is it on his Twitter feed?
It's on something. I saw the picture, but it was a big fish. I'll tell you that much.
Bro, he's a little guy. So.
Well, okay. Well, listen,
is that what it is?
Even if he's smaller as average men go, that's still a big fish.
If that's the worst controversy of the Dolphins summer, I will take that over most years.
I mean, technically, you could talk about the Connor Williams thing. Maybe that's
that's not a controversy. That's just football stuff right there. That's just football stuff.
Well, people make stuff about that all the time. Is that so going to hold out?
There it is. It looks like an amberjack. That's a pretty big amberjack.
Yeah, where's the picture? I'll pull it up.
It's on Twitter. You could go to his feed.
Oh, so Tyreek's Twitter page. Okay, so
that's a nice amberjack. That's a really, really nice amberjack.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this up here. So this is the thing that Tyreek Hill was busy catching while we were dealing with all this nonsense. So excuse me just a moment, gentlemen. And here it is.
It's I gotta say that it's a nice amberjack, but there's people in the comments calling that a tuna, and that makes me just sad for humanity.
Okay, so I messed up too. I don't know anything about fish, that's for sure.
Who the fuck would think that's a tuna?
I looked at it at first glance. I only saw it once briefly.
That's an amberjack, people. Jesus. He also caught a shark, by the way. He caught a nice little dusky shark. Yeah.
So Tyreek had a busy day, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's about it.
Slap some fool in the back of the head too. So
and supposedly
complete day.
And supposedly they're not pressing charges, so it's a really doesn't mean anything at this point.
But I like how TMZ went out there with their story. And assault and battery.
I mean, isn't it? I guess by technicality, it is like by the rule of the law, you hit somebody you weren't supposed to hit, no matter how minor it was.
If you're charged with that, you know what I mean?
But they're not pressing charges, so
yes, they're not even pressing charges, so it's definitely a nothing story then.
So that's it for the Miami Dolphins stuff. So let's talk about the Buffalo Bills a little bit here. So they're kind of in a sticky situation, huh? So we're recently finding reports, and we found out that Stephon Diggs was, I guess you could say, late getting to minicamp. He did finally show up eventually, but when he did show up, he gave the indication that he was not particularly happy with the Buffalo Bills and what his whole situation is. He apparently wants more say in play calling. He wants more say in decisions made on the field. He basically wants more power. He's not asking for more money. He wants more power. And here, meanwhile, Josh Allen is going out there saying, no, everything's fine. We have a great working relationship. And it seems to me Stephon Diggs is saying, no, we don't. I'm very unhappy with how everything is going. So Minnesota Vikings fans is very funny. They're showing up in Buffalo Bills comments everywhere saying, we warned you people that this would happen eventually. So it looks like there is no joy in Mudville at the moment. So what's your guys' thoughts on this whole Buffalo Bills drama?
Well, I could go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Supposedly, what pissed him off is some language in his contract that allowed the Bills to restructure it because they were going to restructure his contract, let's say, because they were going to go after DeAndre Hopkins. Now, DeAndre Hopkins didn't want to go to Buffalo. So in essence, they restructured his deal for nothing, right? Here's the problem with that, okay? If they accelerated some money for Stephon Diggs, right? Which means that they gave him a cash payment up front, and he had to pay short-term capital gains. He lives in Buffalo. He's getting paid this money in the offseason. He's going to get taxed 26% on that money, okay? So he just got saddled with a tax bill out of nowhere for no apparent reason because the Bills just exercised an option in his contract. Here's the problem. You signed that contract. It's in your contract. They could have done it whenever they wanted to, and they did. It's, are you going to be upset about that? Then don't sign the contract. I never understood that. A lot of these guys, like, they'll get really pissy with the team over language of a contract 2-3 years in. Buddy, you signed the contract. This reminds me of the Xavier Howard thing 2 years ago. Okay?
That's what I was just thinking.
Okay? Xavier Howard signed an extension. Then he redid his extension. And then he was upset at the restructure he did on his own extension. The Dolphins still did well by him. And now they really did well by him by guaranteeing even more money. So they rewarded him twice. But X is a good guy on the team, and he's gonna be, his name is gonna be in the Ring of Honor. I think that's a safe bet. I don't know about the Hall of Fame. He needs to have a very strong finish to his career.
Ring of Honor for Xavier?
Yeah,
I he'll probably get a square on the Walk of Fame, but I don't know if the Ring of Honor for him.
I think the Ring of Honor is in play. Can you look up to see if Sam Madison is in the Ring of Honor?
I don't think he is. I think he just recently got added to the Walk of Fame, but he didn't get added to the Ring of Honor.
That's because
I was there when he got added to the Ring of Honor.
All right, I got Miami Dolphins. I guess they call it honor roll, right?
Yeah.
We've got Zonka, Greasy, Jim Langer, Paul Warfield, Nick Bonacotti, Larry Little, Dwight Stevenson. Wow, there's a lot of people. Kutenberg, Don Shula. Oh, Joe Robbie, by the way, I missed. Nat Moore, Dan Marino, Clayton Duper, Dick Anderson, Richmond Webb, Bob Baumauer, Doug Betters, Jake Scott, Bill Stanfield, Jim Mandich, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, Bill Arnsparger.
I don't think Sam's on there.
Yeah, no, Sam.
Okay, he has to be on there.
Nope.
He has to be on there because there's a couple of guys there. Like, look, Bob Baumauer was a really good player for the Dolphins, late 70s, early 80s. But he wasn't as good a player as Sam Madison was. So if that's the litmus test, then Sam Madison should be on there. And then, Xavier Howard just has to have a nice little close here to his career. But if you look at his career, he's had, 3 exemplary seasons. If he has 3 more, I think that's probably right there for him to make the honor roll. I guess that's what they call it, the Ring of Honor, the honor roll. Mm-hmm. So, I think he's fine.
The weird thing, this is off topic of our AFC East rivals, but what's going to happen when they run out of space? Eventually, it's going to happen. I think it's going to make a new ring, like put one above it.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Just make the name smaller.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it'd be easier to just make another ring instead of ripping down all the letters and make them smaller.
Who knows? So back to what you were talking about with Stephon Diggs. Alf, were you finished with your point on that, or did you have more to say?
Yeah. Just the final point is just, he signed the contract and he's going to get pissy now over the team exercising their right, and it's going to cost him a little money. I guess it was going to cost him the money anyway. It's just costing him the money a little earlier, and it's not on his schedule. That's all. So he's going to get pissy with the team. Don't sign the contract you signed.
So you're not buying the whole he wants more say in what's happening with the offense and how everything
That's
goes
all
down?
Bullshit. That's all bullshit, and that's all a cover story for what actually happened to him.
I mean, if that's the cover story, it's honestly not that much better, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not much of a cover
It's basically saying I'm going to be a diva on the field instead of a diva off the field.
Yeah, we just gotta, we just gotta make sure that their season goes as bad as it possibly can,
So, Adam from the Outcast, stoked for the season. Yes, we are very stoked for the season. That's because we're just watching these other our rivals go through all this this nonsense right now, and it feels like the Miami Dolphins are in a really good place right now. Like, this whole Tyreek thing is a nothing. So Connor Williams, I think he'll eventually show up to training camp. I really don't think he's gonna.
Yeah, it'll get figured out either way.
He's not gonna hold out the entire training camp thing. That's not gonna happen. I don't.
They might even redo the deal.
Know. I think why haven't they done? I feel like they're holding their breath on something.
Yeah, I don't think they had planned to, but I think they might get
I think they're waiting. I think they're waiting for a certain somebody to make up his mind.
I'm sure they're working on it. But I wanted to add something about the Stephon Diggs thing and what I think is going on right now with Buffalo. And we've seen some other things too about how McDermott pushed out Frazier and things like that. I mean, to me, this is what happens to a team when the hype gets too big, especially from the national media, which has been so huge the last 2 years on that team. And not only have they not met expectations, they've kind of gone backwards a little bit, honestly. Like, they had a real good season in 21, like a real strong season. Maybe they came close to meeting expectations. I think some people still had them. A lot of people still had them as a Super Bowl pick. They didn't get there. And then last year, I mean, they barely get past Miami and a third string 7th round rookie quarterback, Skylar Thompson, right? I mean, they barely made it past. And then they got beat. I don't remember what the score was, but I recall them being beat fairly soundly. Like, the game really wasn't in question the next week. So I think this is what happens when you have just unreal expectations for a team that was anointed as the team to beat in the AFC, and they just aren't that. They really haven't been that. They've been a really good team. And I think some frustration has set in with that team and where they are and where they think they should be. But now frustration even more because the Dolphins in my opinion, they've caught up. The Jets are much better, and the AFC is going to be a bloodbath this year. I mean, it's just going to be a bloodbath. It really is. And I think there's just a lot of frustration on that team about missed opportunity the last few years. And now it's going to be even tougher for them. And I think a little bit of that might be shining through. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not there on the team. I could be completely wrong, but it's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I personally feel like the whole Buffalo Bills hype machine has died out. I don't think there's any steam left to carry that train. So it's actually very funny because a lot of pundits are suddenly flipping their tune a little bit here. We already knew that Louis Riddick was already on board with the whole Miami Dolphins thing because he's been saying it all this time, and everybody keeps laughing at him. They keep like, "Oh, he thinks the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East. You really believe in two of them?" Yes, he does. And I think he realizes that the Buffalo Bills are not moving fast as they used to. They're not moving forward as much as the Miami Dolphins are.
No, they're kind of moving backwards a little bit.
They're moving backwards. I think suppose the story is that Sean McDermott chased Leslie Frazier out of Buffalo. He didn't want him there anymore. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins got the greatest defensive coordinator in the modern era. So there you go. So Hussam saying hi guys because I told Hussam to watch the show because he's.
I'll say Hussam, if you want to break in, we know all the back secret codes to get in.
Yes, he has admin access. He can come on the show if he feels.
He can hack his way in if he wants.
But in any way,
it's up to him.
What I basically told him is that he was saying, oh, the Tyreek story. Like the Tyreek story is nothing. He's not even gonna have charges pressed against him. It's so nothing. It's not even funny. So
I got some trivia for you guys because I just noticed that Ron is wearing, and look, people, it's the off season, so we got a full time here. I see that Ron is wearing a shirt that says M&M's established 1941.
Yeah, I got this shirt at Goodwill. It's really comfortable. It was $4.
Okay, let's see how much you guys know about candy. Okay, Reese's was created in 1928. M&M's was created in 1941. What's older? The M&M or the Reese's Pieces?
I'm going to go. Question. I don't know. It seems like a super tricky question. I don't know. I guess the M&M.
Yes. The M&M is older, 1941, as your shirt says. Reese's Pieces, Reese's, the company, was started in 1928. But they only got around to making Reese's Pieces in 1978. Oh,
wow.
And it was in response to M&M's popularity. Now, second question and the final one. What's the oldest candy in the world?
The oldest candy in the world? Pop Rocks.
I'll give you a couple of hints. It's made out of chocolate.
Okay.
It's still eaten today, and it's very popular around Easter.
Cadbury eggs?
Nailed it. Bam!
No, for real? I just pulled that out of my butt.
It was founded as Fry's chocolate cream bars in England in 1866. It is now owned by Cadbury, and it was adopted by Cadbury and turned into the Cadbury egg.
Nice.
I would never have guessed any of that. I don't eat candy.
The second one, like if I asked you what was the second oldest candy bar,
the Tootsie Roll.
Like both of you should know it. Like, come
Hershey's.
On. I do not eat candy, Alf. I eat no candy.
What did you just say? What did you just say, Ron?
Hershey. I said Hershey's.
Try again.
A Hershey's bar? No, not Hershey's bar.
It's fourth. It's the fourth oldest. It was created in 1900. What was their competition?
What was their competition? I don't know.
And they were the originator of this type of bar.
I don't know. Snickers? No, it can't be Snickers or Milky Way. Mars bar? I don't know.
The Nestle.
Nestle. Nestle Crunch?
Yeah, the Nestle. Well, Crunch is one of them. But the Nestle chocolate bar. It was created in Switzerland, 1875.
Alf, why the hell you know this? Hassam wants to know.
Because I was looking stuff up, and I was shocked about when I learned something. And then I just stumbled upon these questions. And then I looked it up, and yeah, sure enough, it's right there.
Someone just texted me, oh my God, you're wearing that shirt for the podcast. What the F? I don't care. It's the off season. It's my off season shirt.
So, yeah, and I'm going through like the top 11. Like the Clark bar is number 9. It was created in 1917.
What about the Good bar?
It's nowhere in there. O. Henry was 1920. It's the 10th oldest. The Peanut Butter Cup is 11th. It was created in 1928. And then the rest are just modern candy. But yeah, that was pretty impressive, Ron, that you guessed the oldest candy. I did give you like 3 hints.
Yeah, you gave me a
chocolate, and it was very popular on Easter.
Yeah, I said chocolate and Easter. I don't know. I could have said Peeps, I guess. I was going to be my next guess if I was.
Yeah, but Peeps is marshmallow.
Yeah, that's true. It's not chocolate. Chocolate.
Yeah, Peeps. You guys went way off base with me. I don't know anything about candy. Zero. Like
what's up, Peeps?
Can I say something about Tyreek Hill? That amberjack is not very impressive. He's holding it very close. I just looked at it again. Remember, he's a small guy. Okay, I've met him in person. I've seen him a million times. I've seen him in practice. I've stood right next to him. He's really strong, really wide, but he's short. Okay, like he's small, right? And that amberjack is just not impressive. It's just not, because he's holding it closer to the camera, and you could tell by the size of his hands and the amberjack, like maybe that thing is 40 pounds. Maybe.
It's all photography tricks, man.
Yeah, so it's like an average amberjack, really. Like you could get a 60-pounder in the Keys, no problem.
So nice. I guess we getting caught Tyreek.
Yeah, you see, look at his hand. Look at his hand. You see? Notice how he's pointing it toward like the camera. Like look at his head. Like if that was the actual size of the fish right next to his head, that's like a 60-pound fish, but it's not. He's holding it closer to the camera. So it's a nice amberjack, but it's not big.
Yeah, I want you to tell him that when you see him in training camp. Tell him that fish, man, that was weak sauce, bro.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give. Let me see. Where is the Tyreek Hill thing? I'm gonna give the people that are calling that thing a tuna some shit on the internet, which is my favorite pastime. Let me go.
Is giving people shit on the internet on the Twitters.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so only if they give shit first. If they give shit first and they try to think that they're funny or smart, like right here. Here's the first guy. Bruh caught a 40-pound tuna and called himself him. Imagine catching a ball that hit you in the helmet in the Super Bowl. All right, that guy's getting a response, and I'm gonna respond with
live on air.
Oh my God.
Bruh, that ain't a tuna, you dummy. How's that?
Okay.
Or you know what? It's better. Bro, that ain't a tuna, period. And then I'm going to put the gif of friend Sanford saying, you big dummy.
Okay, why are we talking about Keith Jackson in the comments now? I'm so confused.
So
What's going
since
on?
it's an off-season show and we're all over the place, and
I know, right? I'm very.
We're barely talking about what we're supposed to talk about here. Dom is in OnlyFins, and last year we had remember, Alf, you ran a draft where we drafted all the best, all the Miami Dolphin players, and you had to fill certain positions. So it was a fantasy draft, only Miami Dolphins through history. And I thought I had Keith Jackson like wrapped up with my next pick. There's like no way, man, anyone's going to think about this. This is the perfect pick right here. And this mofo snaked him like right before. I gave him so much crap for it like every day. So the second I saw that, at first I was like, what? And I was like, oh, okay. Because Dom's in there too. He's in OnlyFins as well. All right, wait. So it looks like Hassan.
Yeah, he just texted
Tom
me
has
on
a
my
question.
phone. He just texted me saying, hey, show my question. Like, thank you, Ron, for stepping up.
Yeah, and I got it. I see him there, buddy. Guys, I have a question for Alf. The 4 best plays the Dolphins offense was this. Drift, 7.3 yards per pass. Y cross, 7.9. Dagger, 8.1. Deep cross, 14.6. Basic plays. How does this offense get better?
Tua plays 17 games.
Yep. That covers it right there, man. Like, how much better do you want it to get?
And I know that the easy answer, the easy answer would be, you got to run the ball more. I don't know if that's the right answer, because you know what this offense's best plays are? Throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Sometimes the easiest answer and the dumbest answer is the correct answer. And when people out there say, "Oh, what would be great about this offense,"
Hussam is not satisfied with your answer. That is
he's going to have to be
sir.
satisfied. All right. Okay. Some people you can't be better than number one. All right. And while they were healthy, what were they? Number 2, number 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not good enough to be number one. But look, if you're number 2, number 3 in the NFL in offense, man, you're pretty good, man.
I mean,
okay?
the thing how you know when a team is good, when the team lines up on Sunday against you, knows exactly what you're trying to do, and they still can't stop you. And when when the Dolphins had Tua, they knew what we were going to do, and they
your
still
team is
stop
good
us.
when you play a team like, let's say, Chicago. No, Chicago, they ran okay, I believe, in the second half.
I like the way you say Chicago.
I think it was Detroit. Yeah, I think it was Detroit that had problems running the ball, but they threw it all over the lot. 2 weeks later, they ran for 200 yards against the Browns, and they scored just as many points, maybe even a little bit more. That's when you know you're really, really good. I know it's popular. A lot of people are going to be out there saying, "Oh, you know what? But they got to run the ball. They got to run the ball 26 times, 28 times, 30 times a game."
Nah, too much.
The thing they do the best is throw the ball to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
They just need to run it more effectively.
Figure out ways to get the ball to those guys.
Yeah, they just need to run it more effectively in the correct situations, well, number one, you need to actually run the ball in the correct situations. And number two, you just need to run it a bit more effectively. That's it. You don't need to all of a sudden become a running team. That's silly. That's
like even a team that
makes no sense.
Even a team that makes a living off of throwing the ball, like the Kansas City Chiefs, for instance, even they run the ball at least 10, 15 times a game.
Yeah, but they're not like they were Patrick Mahomes, and I mean, even when the guy had a bum ankle, they were throwing the ball a lot.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean.
Fine.
Even
I don't
when
mind
he
being
was kind of limited in some ways.
I don't mind being a throwing team. The only thing I ask is that you don't become so one-dimensional that it's like the other team just decides you're never going to run the football, because unless that's the plan, and then you can catch them off guard with Dalvin Cook. I said that. You're just shaking your head.
I'm so over it. I'm already tired of Dalvin Cook. I mean, he could still end up being a Dolphin, but I don't want to talk about him.
He'll become a Dolphin.
I feel like we talked about him for like 2 shows.
He'll be a Dolphin. He's got nowhere else.
Dom has a question that has nothing to do with the AFC East, but that's okay. Here's my question: was Boyer that bad? I not completely. His philosophy just doesn't line up. Yeah, it just doesn't line up with what we want to do on offense. We're going to be compatible. We need to be more conservative on defense, and
was not compatible with the type of team we wanted to be. It was making for us to be a very, very volatile team. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you have an aggressive offense, you can't also have an aggressive defense. Okay, makes your team volatile. Then when one side goes, both sides are going to go. So you need more of a conservative defensive approach when you're going to have a really, really aggressive offense. If you guys remember the Atlanta Falcons of, I believe it was 1991, the Jerry Glanville Falcons, the Deion Sanders Falcons, Andre Rison, they used to throw it all over the lot. They were really aggressive on offense. They even ran a run and shoot type of offense.
They have like the Warren Moon days.
Yeah, and their defense used to blitz like crazy. And what did that make for? Make for a pretty good team, because I think they won 11 games that year, and they won a playoff game. Then they went to, I believe, the second round of the playoffs and got absolutely boat raced. Why? They were a volatile team, a one-trick pony. So they're either going to overwhelm you with big plays or they're not. And Boyer is a really, really good coach. I think he's going to catch on eventually somewhere, and he's going to be good, but he's going to have to do a little bit of soul searching and probably going to have to sit in the lab for a year, just like Vic Fangio did, and start rethinking his approach a little bit, because he had some good game plans, but the volatility of his game plans just did not work. It was just too much. And when they started reworking the defense, especially when they made the trade for Bradley Chubb, he should have read the writing on the wall that they had to become more of a quarters team, cover 6 type team, and not be so volatile. So, he's not bad. He's just not the right guy here.
Yeah.
He'll probably become a secondary coach somewhere, and then he'll get another shot at defensive coordinator somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah, people got to understand. People got to understand. Look, if he was never our defensive coordinator, he would be one of the most highly sought after coaches anywhere.
Yeah, he'd be
Because the
coveted.
guy was, look, Bill Belichick is not a dummy, all right? Like, he's going to get good. He may be a complete idiot for his offense, but Bill Belichick is not an idiot on his defense, okay? He's going to hire good people to run his defense. He had
Like
Josh
his son.
Boyer. Yeah, well, that's
That's nepotism at its finest. So.
that's nepotism. But Josh Boyer was his secondary coach for 15 years. The Patriots, for 15 years or more, for 20 years, they were known to have great secondaries year after year after year. Josh Boyer has 3 Super Bowl rings, with the secondary of the Patriots being the best unit on that team on defense. And maybe the best unit on that team, period, besides the quarterback. It was Tom Brady and their secondary. Like, where were the stars on all of these Patriot teams? Usually in the secondary. They always had Devin McCourty, who was like a million-time Pro Bowler, and then they had Gilmore, who was a Pro Bowler for 1,000 years as well. Asante Samuel. You know all the names that they've had. Ty Law. I believe they have 3 Hall of Famers, because I think Devin McCourty is going to be a Hall of Famer. So they might have 3 Hall of Famers in that secondary when all is said and done. Josh Boyer is a good coach. He was just wrong fit here, didn't adapt, got canned.
Got a question. Is Fangio's scheme 3-4 base? And if so, what would the projected rotation be?
It's not 3-4 based, per se, because you're hardly ever going to see them come out in what is considered, a base 3-4. But
it's like more of a base nickel, right? Like, that's probably what we'd see more than anything. But isn't that just common?
You're going to see a lot of big nickel. Right, you're going to see a lot of big nickel. But yeah, if you want to say, okay, like if a team's going to line up in 12 personnel, you could see them in what is considered base 3-4. If a team is going to come at us with 21 personnel, you could also see them in base 3-4. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's a hybrid of a million different things. You're always going to, like, look, the people that are never going to leave the field, like Jalen Phillips is never leaving the field on this defense. And Christian Wilkins is likely to play a large snap count once again. It's more about alignments and how they're going to line up instead of personnel. And remember, your scheme is based on what your opponent does. It's not based on, like, defense doesn't dictate to an offense. Even the worst offenses in the NFL, they dictate to defenses. All of them. Every single one of them.
So Vic Fangio will just be able to adjust on the fly. So that's kind of we're kind of expecting kind of almost like an amoeba-like defense. It's like it's going to be morphing and changing into pretty much anything we need it to be at any given moment.
Yeah, based on our opponent's personnel.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Because look, there's a few coaches out there that do not like to change, and they will stick to their to what they have, and those coaches get exposed. And in some cases get fired. I'll give you one perfect example inside of the AFC East. Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier will not take his nickel defense off the field ever. So that. So when you play against them, you're going to exploit that. So what you're going to do is what the Dolphins did against them. Get into 21 personnel, 11 personnel, and then try to isolate Teron Johnson in the slot to run right at him. And then you run for 186 yards. Or in the playoffs, a team like the Bengals can isolate Teron Johnson and take Miami's entire game plan from that game and implement it and use it to beat the Bills.
With better personnel in some aspects. With better quarterback, at least at that moment anyway.
Look, if anybody has access to these games, go watch the Bengals playoff game against the Bills in the snow, oddly enough.
The one where Stephon Diggs went and lit up Josh Allen for not being good enough.
Yeah, go look at what the Bengals did on offense in that game, and then go look at what the Dolphins did against the Bills at the end of the season. Okay, and go look at their runs. It's going to be eerily similar, meaning identical. They took the entire game plan, they just ran it to a T, exactly the same way the Dolphins ran it.
Who suspects that Vic Fangio's new coverage, the 3 safety big nickel?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll get to start seeing some of that in camp.
Yep.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to training camp. And
do we even have the dates for camp yet? Because I haven't seen anything like that.
Nothing yet.
It's still over a month away.
Well, we should know in another week or so. All right, before we get into any more other questions, which I see some more there,
do you have a
let's
sponsor?
finish what we came to talk about.
Well, we do.
We've got the Patriots and we've got the Jets. Which who wants to go?
Well, first I wanted to bring. I've been having this set up for a long time.
Okay,
so I was talking about how the media was flipping their tune a little bit. Even Colin Cowherd, of all people, is starting to say,
"Oh, he's big on the Dolphins now. He likes to be wherever the opposite of some others are. He likes to try and be first in line to be right. That's why
he's not first in line. Lewis Riddick said it first. But besides that, if somebody even like a Colin Cowherd is flipping his tune and saying the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East, you kind of get an idea of where everybody is starting to.
They're paying closer. They're paying attention. Some people aren't paying attention. Like I think I saw some list of the top 5 coordinator hires for 23, and somebody didn't even have Fangio on the list for the Dolphins. I mean, clearly you're just not paying attention. That's just a joke, right?
Or they forgot.
Yeah, well then that means they're not paying attention.
They're not paying attention.
And
how
they
do you miss somebody like Vic Fangio?
Yeah, nobody should be reading their art. I don't even know who it was. They don't deserve me to know and to say their name. So what do you want to talk about now? You want to talk about the Jets? You want to talk about Patriots?
I know it's killing you. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about it. Let's talk about the New York Jets.
Well, we're going to talk about the Jets?
Yes, we're going to talk about the Jets. You've been dying to use that. Ladies and gentlemen,
I've been dying.
Ron has a lot of new toys. So
yeah, I got new toys, man. I got new technology. Thanks, Al, for that soundbite. The only one that we currently
No problem. No problem.
Oh man, yeah, but let's talk about those Jets, man. They have been talked up and talked up and talked up by the Northeast biased media, of course.
I mean, you pick up a Hall of Fame quarterback. They
picked up a 40-year-old Hall of Fame quarterback. Not everybody's Tom Brady, but okay.
That's on dope.
But I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, they had a really good defense last year. I don't have any reason to think they won't have a really good defense this year. And they picked up a few toys. They've got Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Are we sure? Are we sure that they're a great defense, or did they face 9 backup quarterbacks?
I mean, the Dolphins kind of had that same deal in 21, right? Didn't we get accused of the same thing, that our defense looks so sick, but we did face a bunch of backup quarterbacks. Okay, we took that criticism, so maybe they could take it too. It's true. I think they have at least a really good defense. Maybe it's not great. Maybe it's really good.
Talent. But, they have a lot of talent.
They absolutely have talent, but is it all going to come together? I think is the question for them. I think there's more question marks for them than there is for Miami, because with Miami, we saw McDaniel come in and do things. We saw the offense work with Tua and Tyreek Hill and work in Waddle, and we saw what improvements we needed to make, and we made some of those, except for on the offensive line. We really didn't make any. I just feel like with the Jets, there's just more question marks because you don't know if it's all going to work. And we talked about that schedule before. They got a real tough schedule to start. They could easily start 1-3. And when that New York media starts hounding them, and they're looking up at Buffalo and looking up at Miami already, and realizing, wow, we're 1-3 and we still have a lot of tough games to go. I mean, that could start to get ugly really quick. And Aaron Rodgers is the first one to blame everybody but himself, and that is just a fact. He is going to deflect the blame to everyone else. Media is not going to go for that. They're going to get ticked. Jets fans they're going to go nuts, and that could go bad quickly. Or they could start winning games and it goes well. I think they're the biggest question mark of the East myself.
If the Jets do not make the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers will retire after the season is over.
That's very possible.
He will retire after the season is over because there is so high of expectations on them right now because of Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is going to get chewed up alive by the New York media. He thought living in Green Bay wasn't fun. New York is New York. It's Gotham City. They are going to tear him to shreds if he doesn't make the playoffs.
Oh,
can I make
he has no clue what
Can I make an off-the-wall prediction?
Go for it.
Okay. If that happens, I don't think that's going to happen, by the way, because I think the Jets will make the playoffs. I think they'll win 10 games and will make the playoffs. And they might even be playing the Dolphins in the first round here in Miami. So, but let's say that they don't. Let's say they don't make the playoffs. Their season is an absolute disaster. What if Jordan Love absolutely sucks. Would the Jets send him back to Green Bay just for their picks back? And he finishes his career one last year in Green Bay?
No,
I think he'll retire. He'll go back in his little time bubble or whatever it was.
He'll go back in his cave, in his dark cave.
Nope, I'm done. Like, I'm done this time. That's what I honestly believe. And by the way, the drama does not end there with the Jets. I just pulled this up because remember when this was going on? Quinnen Williams seeking 25-30 million per year, and he put on his Twitter account that he's the defensive tackle for the ... He's making a point to say that he wants a new contract, and he wants a new contract very, very badly. And I mean, I understand why. He's a very talented young man, but right now, can the Jets really afford to give him $25-30 million a year? We can make the same argument. Can the Dolphins afford to give Christian Wilkins? But I don't see Christian Wilkins throwing a fit and going on Twitter and saying that I want a new contract or I'm going to be very upset.
Well, here's the thing. Quinnen Williams, this is where all these things tend to help us if you think about it. Like Dolphin fans get really, really, really upset when our players don't get recognition. The bias that they have up in the Northeast actually helps us. First of all, when they don't put our players in the Pro Bowl and they don't give them the recognition,
it saves us money.
It saves us money under the salary cap. Okay,
it's true. Saves us money.
Yeah, and when they keep talking about, Christian Wilkins, he's good, but he's not. I shudder every time I start hearing people like, even Chris Sims, but more like Dan Orlovsky on ESPN saying, Christian Wilkins is a beast and this and that. And then you hear Baldinger say, he's one of the best 5 defensive tackles in football. I shudder because I'm like, okay, this is going to cost us a lot of money because now they're putting the narrative out there that he's a top 5 guy and they're going to pay him like a top 5 guy because that's what he's going to ask for, right? But that's not what they do. But Quinnen Williams, look, Quinnen Williams is really, really good. You know how good he is? He's just as good as Christian Wilkins. But he plays in New York, so they've turned him into Aaron fucking Donald. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And guess what? He is going to make at least, and hold me to it. If I'm wrong, hit me up on Twitter and say that I was wrong. I'll guarantee you Quinnen Williams makes $5 million more per season than Christian Wilkins.
I mean,
so I think Quinnen Williams will get that $25 million a year, and Christian Wilkins will get that $20 million a year.
Yeah, and he won't be worth $5 million compared to Wilkins.
I mean, we made the
He's
same
very
argument.
good. Like, look,
he's very good. But then,
look, and if you had to ask me, okay, who's better, Quinnen Williams or Christian Wilkins? Quinnen Williams, yeah,
a little bit, but not that big a gap anymore.
But it's not a gargantuan gap.
The thing that makes Quinnen Williams look like he's a lot better is because he has better pass rush numbers than Christian Wilkins. That's it. That's the only thing. And Christian Wilkins, but again, we've talked about this before. Christian Wilkins' job is not to rush the passer. His job is to open things up so other people can rush the passer. That's what he's been doing that's what he did all throughout his college career, and that's what he's doing now. So to expect,
and I'll give you, and I'll tell fans this, okay? Look, if you guys are into, now that there's no games, if you guys want to start rewatching some of those games from last year, okay, go look at the 49er game. San Francisco 49ers was one of the few teams that decided to just block Christian Wilkins with a guard all game. By the third quarter, they were double teaming him. You know why? Because he would have ended up with like 9 sacks in that one single game because he was just destroying the interior of that offensive line of the 49ers. So, yeah, Christian Wilkins, if they start blocking him like they block other people in the league, he'll start getting sack numbers. My fear is that he's not signed and then he's going to start going after those sack numbers, and that's going to hurt his overall game. But I think something's going to get done. It'll get done sooner rather than later.
I think that if any deal gets done in the offseason for Miami, it's going to be that Wilkins deal. I think that he's in the plans to get that done heading into the season, into training camp. I don't know. I don't think Connor Williams was in the plans, but they may do it anyway. But I think Wilkins was absolutely in the plans to get done because he's one of those guys that they want here beyond 24. And I think those are the guys that we talked about that last week. Remember, Lewis? It's the guys that they're looking beyond 24. That's where the focus is first, beyond this little 2-year window push before they have to extend Tua, et cetera, which they may even extend Tua next year. Who knows? But we'll see. I feel like Wilkins is going to get done this year, especially considering that his peers in that same group, in that same draft class, all of them have now been signed to extensions. He's the last one that hasn't.
Dominic Veluso in the comments says, Alpha, if you can make a big move right now for the Dolphins, what would it be? Have fun.
Dalvin Cook.
That's boring. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't help our team, but
we've expecting that to happen for 1,000 years already. So
yeah,
so
1,001 years, so it'll happen.
Like, what's a good move? Look, because
DeAndre Hopkins.
The boring answer is, I need them to get a 5 tech and I need them to get a 0. So go sign. I don't know. Sign Linval Joseph and
Ndamukong Suh. We talked about this already.
Ndamukong Suh or Trey Flowers or whatever. Those are the boring answers. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. Why not? You sign DeAndre Hopkins and just throw it 50 times a game.
Hey, we saw that Tyreek retweeted.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tweet with a smiley face.
Yeah,
about something about a team that he's
that is overkill though.
Teammates easier. Yeah, that would be overkill.
There's nowhere to. There's not that many passes to go around. There just isn't. You already
sign Dalvin and sign Hop, and let's just go win the Super Bowl.
NFL vet minimum. They're gonna come and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's just go win the Super Bowl. There you go.
We're not the Miami Heat. Stars don't drop everything to come here.
Dream team, baby, dream team. Not 2, not 3, not 4. Not 5. You know what? I think I'm gonna record that soundbite and play it next week.
Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. So yeah, for me, it's just looks. If you were talking about moves that the Dolphins can make, sign Dalvin Cook, sign Ndamukong Suh, and after that, I think we're good. I don't even think linebacker is that big of a need anymore because Andrew Van Ginkel seems to be transitioning fairly well to the whole middle linebacker kind of role.
Alf, I'm going to ask you. I think I asked you on our show in OnlyFins on the show that we did last week. So I'm going to ask you here in public. Have we just given up on adding any more offensive line? Like, are we as fans, as a team, everything?
They signed 2 first-round draft picks, Ron. What more do you want?
It's nothing. What we did was nothing. Have we just given up, Alf? Like, are we just done? Like, who cares anymore?
I think they're set in their ways. They believe in what they've done. They got 5,000 people on that staff that coach offensive lines. So if they're all in agreement, then what are you going to do?
I think they're not happy with Ike and would love to replace him. I think
that's look, if we had to bet, okay, and look, we really don't have much information. All we know is what's gone on so far in OTAs, and I don't put a lot of stock in a lot of that stuff. Okay, camp is coming, so if I had to bet, man, I would think that Austin Jackson is much more safe than the.
Yeah, I agree.
For what it's worth, Butch Berry is implying that he's very happy with Austin Jackson's progress.
Butch Berry hasn't coached him during any games yet. Not even a preseason game. He hasn't even coached him during a scrimmage yet. He hasn't even coached him with pads on yet. I mean, Butch Berry don't know crap about Austin Jackson.
He knows more about Austin Jackson than we do.
And a couple reps that he's seen in mini camp without pads. That's no offense to Butch Berry.
Okay, look, hold on.
Hold
on. Specifically for Austin Jackson, I will say this. What's been the biggest criticism we've had of Austin Jackson besides the fact he can't stay healthy?
He sucks.
His technique.
That's been my biggest criticism of him. I mean, I know that's not a real that's not like really, a great scouting report. It's just like if you said Ron's scouting report that another team opens up, let's see, Austin Jackson might be on the ball. Let's see if we want to trade him. What's your scouting report on him? He sucks. That's it. 2 words. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Louis.
We are going to watch. Look, on Thursday on OnlyFins, $3 a month, people. Okay, we're going to do a watch along. We're going to watch the Ravens-Dolphins game from this past year.
I can't wait.
and the infamous and great Greg Little started that game at right tackle. It was, and I'm going to point it out during the game. You people can watch along, and you're going to see. And I'm going to be saying, look, watch this play. Watch him in pass pro. That was clearly the best game played by a right tackle in a Miami Dolphin uniform in 2 years. But it only happened once. And that's a problem. Okay. Austin Jackson has more horrific games than the Dolphins have good games at right tackle by anybody. And like I said, that was the best game. Greg Little against the Ravens. He played absolutely fabulous in that game. He actually made the key block that sprung Edmonds, if you remember. at the end of the game.
Edmonds, I forgot that guy was even on.
They got them down to like the 7-yard line or whatever it was. So, yeah, his problem is technique. He's just not good. Like, like if you go back, if you look at his entire body of work, you have the start of his rookie season. I think it's the first 4 games where he was really, really good. And I remember doing shows because I remember when he got drafted, I went on, before when we do our own draft shows, and we were talking about, okay, obviously we got 3 first-round picks in the first round. We want Tua at number 5. So that's a given. Like, that's who we want at number 5, right? So what are we going to do with number 18, I believe it was, is where Austin Jackson got taken. And all of us was like, okay, we got to figure out how to get Tristan Wirfs, or we got to figure out how to get CeeDee Lamb, or whatever we were talking about. And when we went over all of the tackle prospects, we all hated Austin Jackson. We just didn't like his tape. He was just not a good player at USC. He was all measurables and no tape. He was not a good player. Then when that season rolled around, he looked good in camp. And then, I remember it was that was a COVID year. So
he was playing left tackle, correct?
Yeah, he was playing left tackle. And I saw him in camp and I was like, this guy looks like something. And then when you watch him at field level, and you watch him in camp, you're like, you start thinking to yourself, okay, I can see how coaches fall in love with this guy. Like, this guy looks like $1 million. He's 6'5", 320 pounds, rangy athlete. He moves great, moves like an athlete. Doesn't move like a fat guy. Like, the guy is put together. He has a good body. He's like, he's barrel chested, big arms, strong thighs, really good looking athlete. And then you watch him the first 4 games of that season, and you're like, wait a minute, this guy's like really, really good. And on the air, we were apologizing. Like, we were like, okay, we got that evaluation way wrong. Like, this guy's going to be.
You didn't.
Yeah, this guy's going to be a really good left tackle for a very long time. He got injured. He came back, and he was a little shaky, right? The following year, he shows up here, and he's an absolutely unmitigated disaster. We will never forget that game against Chicago in the preseason.
Is that the
what did he allow? What was it? 14. He allowed like 14 pressures on 2 or something like that, and 2 sacks.
We were watching that game together. I remember it was ugly.
He just looks lost. He looks lost, like he doesn't.
Like he didn't know what he's doing. Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
So maybe Butch Berry is snapping him out of it. Who knows? Because if there's one thing you can fix in minicamp, it's just overall technique, footwork, handwork, stuff like that. That stuff you don't need pads for. And that's supposedly Austin Jackson's problems.
Yeah, so. Here's the thing about Austin Jackson, man. And I know I've gotten some pushback on this too, because I'll give you a little secret. I'll let you in on a little secret. A lot of people, because they don't know how to explain offensive line play, and to be fair, I know a shit ton about football. It's hard to discern what's good or bad offensive line play unless you are watching every single play and you know what their assignment is. Okay, so it's very hard to actually critique offensive line play. And that's why I always get on PFF's case when they grade offensive linemen, because I would say, how the fuck do you people know? You don't know the assignment. You don't know what the play call is. So how the hell are you going to grade an offensive lineman? The best you can do is what you do really, really, really well, which PFF does, which is their stats. Like, they could actually count pressures. They could count blocks. They could count, okay, did this guy give up a pressure, or did he give up a sack? Is he responsible for the sack on this blitz? Like, they could do that stuff. But grading offensive linemen, it's impossible, okay? So a lot of people, when they look at Austin Jackson and they fall to this, and they've critiqued me on this before, they say, it's the physicality. He's just not strong enough. Doesn't have good functional strength. No, that's not his problem. I watched the film. I've watched every single one of his snaps here for 3 years. Okay. He is good in a very short space when he can engage with a guy and he could just play football because he's a strong guy. Like, violence is not his issue. Like, he plays with a good punch. He's a strong guy. When he gets into you, he's going to move you. Like, he's a really strong guy. He's a really good athlete. His technique is garbage. He doesn't know how to set for pass pro. That's his issue. So if they could square away his technique and actually get him to trust his technique, that's the most important thing. He has to trust it. If he doesn't trust it, none of his physicality is going to work. Like I say, when you look at him at field level, you're like, okay, I can see why coaches love this guy. Like, look
So
what he looks like.
those 14 snaps against the Patriots this season.
You're still talking about those 14 snaps for like
Did
4 months,
he or did he not look really good during those 14 snaps before he
I
got
wouldn't
hurt?
say really good. I would say he looked okay. Like, he looked passable. He looked good, I guess.
I mean, those 14 snaps, I didn't see him do anything bad, and I thought him make a couple of good moves. I mean, for considering what he's done in the past, what we're used to from him, that's a major improvement.
Yeah, he's fine, you know.
So I'm going to go ahead and just bring this up real quick because I saw this was funny. This is
when are we talking about New England, man? We got to leave at least 25 seconds for that.
Okay, and forget the 25 seconds. Forget the 25 seconds. Okay.
Who cares about a 6-11 team? Like, that's what they're gonna be.
We still got to
reference.
This is the New York Jets situation right now. Aaron Rodgers cash flow 2020. Like, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play for the Jets in 2024? I with that kind of money?
To understand what people that are reading this and they're like, I don't get this. Like, what? That's going to be their cap charge next year? No, they'll prorate that. So that's going to be a charge on their cap going forward, which they're going to be paying for dearly for the next few years. So
like I said, it's this year or nothing for the Jets. At this
pretty
point.
much.
What the Jets? You say?
They better if they don't get it right, they're done, man. Like, they're going to be out of the competition for a couple of years at least.
Good.
No, believe me, I'm not losing any sleep over it. All right. Okay, fine. New England Patriots. DeAndre Hopkins. What are the chances at this point he becomes a New England Patriot? He left New England without a contract.
I don't feel like he's a fit. I feel like anybody that's maybe played over there is gonna say, "Nah, man, that's not your place." I think they'd have to offer him a boatload of money for him to, and I don't think they're gonna offer him a boatload of money.
Yeah, he's not like the last thing that the Patriots need is another no separation guy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, but I'll put it to you this way: Mac Jones could probably use somebody who's just gonna go up and bail him out a lot.
You know, now that I'm thinking about this, Ron, that drop, that New York Jet drop. Do you think it'd be funnier if after you hear the JETS and then you hear the 3 farts, if those 3 farts were really, really fast and then the last one was slow?
Yeah, I think it would be.
It'd be funnier, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, I'm gonna remix that tonight.
Okay. I like it. Let's remix it up, and we'll have to.
I'll repost it.
Jets fart. I have it listed as Jets fart. That's what I have it.
So you're gonna hear, like, play it one more time, and I'll explain to the people what I'm actually gonna do with this.
Gladly. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm such a child.
So instead of the 3 slower farts, it's just gonna be bop bop bop, and then you hear the long slow fart.
Yeah, really long. Yeah. Oh, good times.
So we've crapped all over the Jets. No,
literally.
Yeah.
I think Mac Jones is afraid to throw the ball because Bill will eat his soul. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's true. I mean, that's part of the problem, right? Is he wants a quarterback that's just going to go out there and be real safe, not turn the ball over, make good, smart decisions, take all the checkdowns, take all the easy plays, throw the ball, throw the play the way it's designed to all your non-talented receivers and whatnot.
Yeah, I think Bill wants that Shula.
Oh, that's contract. It. Shula, he is just trying to make moves to get, what does he need? Like another 20, what is it? Like 28 games or something? What's he short?
I think he needs like 22 wins or something like that.
It's not a lot. I mean, he'll probably get it.
He has to coach for like 3 more years and win 6 games a year or something like that. You know?
Let's see here in NFL history. All right, here we've got. We got it here. Come on, give me something. Yep, it's 347 to 329. I mean, that's only 18, right?
Yeah, 18 wins. So it's only going to take
18 to tie and 19 to win. It's only going to take him a couple seasons, maybe.
It's going to take him about 6 seasons.
That's awesome. It's going to take him about 6 seasons. Man, the Dolphins haven't done him any favors. That's for sure. I'm pissed that we lost to him last year. It kind of ticks me off, man.
So
blame Teddy.
End of the discussion as far as New England goes. Hopkins does not get to New England, I don't think. And even if he does, that's not going to be enough to fix the offense. Mac Jones is just not Tom Brady, and Bill Belichick needs a Tom Brady to be fully functional. It's just how it is.
I think the Patriots really, really screwed up. They had the opportunity to make a splash, and they just didn't do it.
What splash?
They were the ones who needed to go after Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
I think Lamar Jackson's the type that had they talked to him. Now, let's be real about this. I think that the Ravens, you saw the contract they gave Lamar Jackson. They were going to match anything. So that was the biggest fake controversy of the entire offseason, was that Lamar Jackson could go somewhere.
Oh yeah, and they basically told Lamar that he's going to be the offensive coordinator now too. So it's like the OC doesn't have a job. So Lamar's running the offense.
So that entire thing was a complete waste of time and all nonsense. Do you remember all the people that tweeted all that nonsense about collusion and all that?
Yeah.
Crap?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I remember. We all knew he wasn't going anywhere. I don't know anybody who legitimately thought
but
Lamar
that was the move.
Going to be in Baltimore.
That was the move. Now, were they gonna get screwed on the move? Yeah, of course. But that was the move. Like if you're the Patriots, that's what you need to do. You need to bank on, okay, look, we know how to play defense around here. All we need is some offense. We're gonna hand the offense over to Lamar Jackson. That's our offense.
Yeah, but they want to. I mean, what Bill wants to do, he needs 19 wins, right? So he just wants to play. He's going to play typical Belichick football. He's going to play solid defense. He always has a solid defense, right? He's going to try and run the ball. He's going to have good game plans most of the time. He's going to keep the turnovers low, and he's going to win some games he shouldn't win, right? A team that is talented in the AFC enough to win 5 will probably win 7 or 8.
He wants to be tied or within a field goal in the fourth quarter in every game.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just going to take that philosophy for 19 more wins, and he's out. He's hoping he can try and get that done in 2 seasons. But it'll probably take him 3.
And I don't think it's ever going to happen for him. Did you guys ever see? It was a great piece. I forgot what the name of that documentary. Oh, the Do Your Job documentary. Did you ever see that one?
I don't know.
It's Nick Saban.
It's on
Bill
HBO.
Parcells.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Bill
Where
Belichick
talking to each other.
Yeah, Bill Belichick flat out comes out and says his dream job is to be the head coach of the New York Giants.
New York Giants. Yeah,
that's his dream job.
But I don't think it's going to happen now.
Brian Dable just won Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
He could have tried to take that job.
How many coaches of the year get canned in the NFL all the time?
Not after 1 year. I mean, they
not after 1 year. So, but maybe maybe the Giants have 2 bad years in a row here, and then Bill Belichick gets to coach his dream job for 1 season in New York.
I don't know. I just think the advantage that Dable has is the fact that he's in the NFC, and it's getting weaker every single year. And I mean, he had a good year last year, and he's got an okay quarterback.
Yeah, but
he's got Barkley, although Barkley hasn't signed his tender. I don't know. I'm just not sure what that team's like yet. I mean, they even won a playoff game last year.
I'm with you, but you say weaker. That division's not weak. That division's murder.
They got
Eagles and Cowboys.
Eagles, Cowboys. Yeah, you're right. Eagles are probably the best team in the NFC.
And the Commanders are a tough out every single time.
Yeah, they seem to be in the division anyway. But
yeah, in the division they fight. They fight to the end against all of them. They play every team really, really tough.
Yeah,
they beat the Eagles this year.
So. That's 6 games. I mean, that's 6 games. You got another 11 games.
Yeah.
Of which you'll play 5 of them outside in the AFC. That's going to be tougher. I don't know who their AFC opponents are, but then you have mostly just a lot of. I mean, would they finish 2nd or 3rd in the division? I mean, they're not even going to play the tougher teams in the NFC.
They finished 3rd.
They're not even going to play the tougher teams in the NFC for the 2 extra games. I just feel like they're probably going to win another 9-10 games and make the playoffs.
We play the Giants this year, don't we? Do we play them in New York or here in Miami?
We play them, I think, in Miami this time. Because we play the East. We play the NFC East this time. So we play the Eagles, the Giants.
We play the
Commanders.
Eagles of Philadelphia. I know that we play.
Giants are in Miami.
The Giants are in Miami. Yeah,
Yes.
because we play the Commanders in Washington and we play the Cowboys here in Miami. So
Yeah, that's the
Giants
Christmas
and
Eve game, correct?
yeah, Giants and Cowboys here in Miami. So yeah, so that's another advantage to our. Think about it. When we play the NFC, we're gonna play 2 of the 3 best teams here in Miami. So
Yeah, the Eagles game, that's gonna be tough in Philly on a Sunday night, right? That'll be a fun game. Man, that'll be a fun game.
Manny will be celebrating on the post game show if it turns out that the Eagles win. So, or he'll be miserable.
Don't let those Dolphins sneak up on you, man. Don't let those Dolphins sneak up.
Don't let us get one.
Don't let us get one. The only one we get. Yeah, don't let us get one. Or if we're gonna lose one, let's lose this one and beat them in the Super Bowl.
There you go. I love it. All righty, folks. That's going to be it for this show. Thank you all so much for listening. If you haven't already done so, make sure you're going over to U-Brake Wheel Fix. They'll be able to help you out with your wheel repair or refinishing, or if you just want to give your ride a serious upgrade, things like custom wheels. So check that out. You see that right there, folks? That's some good Dolphin stuff right there. So check that out whenever you get the chance. Give them a call, 305-748-0112. And of course, you can go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code 5, that's FIVE, and they will match up to $100 on your initial deposit when you sign up, which literally means you put in 100 of your dollars, they will give you 100 of their dollars, and you don't even have to touch your money until you have used up all the money that they give you. So just go ahead and go in there and start winning. I'm actually going to be doing some winning tonight, so I'm very excited about that because Taco Tuesday was a thing today. So again, promo code 5.
No basketball.
FIVE.
No basketball, no football. Baseball. What are you just doing it all baseball?
Baseball. I mean, I'm using the WNBA taco they gave out today, but I don't know anything about the WNBA. I didn't know very much about the NBA. I know even less about the WNBA. So I'm just going with the flow on that one.
So baseball, I assume it's just like, you take picture. If you take a pitcher, it's obviously about strikes. And
yeah. So there's strikeouts,
there's
how many walks, how many hits, how many runs. Okay. They give you like combos. How many runs will both of these pitchers give up in the first inning?
Is there any fielding stats for the players? Like errors, anything? I was just
they do have futures for the NFL season. Like on one of these shows, we should go over them.
Actually, if you want, I'll go ahead. If you want, what I'll go ahead and do
that next week.
I actually have my. Let me see if I can share my screen here because let me see if I can do that.
You know what I'm doing, Ron?
What? Fixing the Jets sound drop?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. Nice. I got Audacity open and I'm remixing it. I'm gonna speed up the tempo at the end there.
Okay.
I like it. And I'll email it to you.
Yeah, email it to me and then I'll play it next week. So the Jets, you say?
So for what it's worth, this is what this is what my futures are for for the NFL season coming up. I put the over on Tyreek's receiving yards.
Look for the Dolphin ones. I think if you could go, you already played this, right?
Yeah, I played this way long ago. So
okay, if you could go on the search bar, just put Dolphins, and it's going to give you all the ones that they have for the Dolphins.
Okay, give me a second here. Let's see. Go to the board and NFL futures. Where is it? NFL season. Okay, Dolphins.
Just put search. Okay.
There's nothing.
All right. Put Tua. All right. I have 2 Tuas. See if we put Miami, if they all show up, because it shows up for basketball. Like in basketball, you put Heat, the Heat.
Yeah, I saw that for Heat. I think they just like basketball better, to be honest.
Okay. Put Waddle. See if they have Waddle on there.
It has to be first name. I don't think it works for like last name.
Okay. So they got Jalen Waddle. Okay, and let's go one by one. You want to do them? You want to do them now? Or you want to do them next week?
Next week. We're already at an hour 15.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It'll give
next week. Come on, it's the off season. Let's save some content.
All right, folks. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you all next week for another episode of the Pulse of Finn Station. Good night, everybody.
See you.